Hello and welcome everybody to day 3 of week 3 of the LCS Summers Challengers League. The very end of the first round robin for the summer split, and I will be walking you through the action today. I'm Kangas, but I'm joined by the one, the only bald brother, Deserix.
Hello, brother.
Hello,
We
brother.
share.
Oh,
We
this
share
one.
not genetics of the hair, but we don't share them in the face. Steve, grow out the beard already.
Hey, you know, I'm trying out different things. I'm trying out different looks. I call this the Freak Revisited. But we also got Beat Down
Spiral.
coming onto the desk. How's it going, Beat?
It's going great. I have hair, in case anyone
Well,
didn't notice.
Thanks for bringing that up. Looking snazzy, by the way. I
Want
like
it
the
too.
outfits.
Want it.
The
Want it.
I don't think that's how that works,
Stay
Deserix.
away. Stay away. I went the wrong way.
It kind of does. That's the way hair transplants work. We could just like cut off
just
the
grab it.
follicles off the
Quite
top of
literally
his head.
Have it through a
True, yes.
screen. All right, well, we'll see
already
if
lost
we can
control.
get working on that. Beatdown's got enough for all of us, thankfully, to balance out the desk right now. I'm liking the whole get-up, though, that we got, so everyone's bringing in their best clothes. Special shout-outs, of course, to Pride Month. You can see right up at the top of the screen for anybody who celebrates and however you celebrate. Awesome to have you here with us in Twitch chat. And, of course, it's great to see the month being celebrated. Also, shout-outs to Evil Geniuses. I know that they did, like, a whole charity stream. I got to participate in that. They're pushing this new thing where they're calling this their last Pride Month ever, because every month's going to be Pride Month going forward for them. So I think that it's cool to see
Respect.
different members of the community getting involved however they want to.
Don't forget the Team Fish Taco stickers too. Those,
Yes,
those
the
are
Team Fish
absolutely
Taco
amazing.
stickers are incredible. If you haven't checked them out, you can check out their tweet. It might still be pinned. I know it was pinned at one point. But either way, you can just scroll through. You know, check out their Twitter regardless. But that's not the only fun that we're having so far this week, because there is a return, a much anticipated return, if we will, for a certain man on the range. So let's send it over to Mazel, or rather on the range guy, to figure out where he's been, what he's been up to this whole time.
I'm a little nervous. Never been in a documentary before.
It's alright, just remember to look at the camera. So can we start with what exactly a Challenger's Drive is?
Well, it all started before franchises were even a thing. No fancy companies or systems. So really what we have today was born out of tradition. Our job as ranchers is simple. Make sure the players get where they're going.
And where's that?
Well, the LCS.
With the old Academy trail decommissioned, what's it been like adapting to the new path?
Well, our approach hasn't really changed, but as for the critters, I'd rather you hear straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
The news surprised everyone. Everyone was kind of scared and worried, you know, am I gonna even have a job in a few weeks, that kind of thing. So it's a really rough situation for some of us. But, you know, we kept playing solo queue in Europe, and everyone continued grinding and kind of hope for the best. And to our fortune, you know, Team Liquid, they really believe in us. They really believe in the system that they have in place. You know, they believe in Spawn, our coach. So, you know, they said, hey, you know, we're still going to run with it, you know, keep the same roster. And we were all really, really grateful.
I mean, I was just sweating my ass, bro, like, am I gonna, like, is this the way it ends, you know? Like, am I just gonna, you know, I've been waiting here the whole time to play. I finally think I'm gonna go, and then it finds out, you know, it's done. But yeah, I mean, I'm really grateful that EG decided to keep the team, and I have one more chance, you know, to win challenges.
Well, it's about time to get started. Let's see what these critters have in store for us this time on the range.
Always go with those friends that shake the bridge too. We'll see a little bit of shaking up the bridge here. See a lot of damage back. Oh, my God! A triple kill and make it a quadra for Arrow. What did this goalie? Their team beat back. They want to finish the game. They got 50 seconds still to bear buff.
Wait, that's confidence. Respect.
Oh, there goes Pirates! Oh my God! And now Quacker, here he comes. He's got that dominance, and he's looking at a 1v4. He can't get Trevor. Trevor can't get to him, but he still takes down the kills, and Quacker is a monster!
Spyrax almost lands the route onto Spawn, but he will sidestep it. Now the re-engage. They're backing onto Spyrax, trying to take down the Nico. They got him! Nico down. Teleport flank coming in, but Masu's popping off. He's gotten a double kill already. Lassie has not done enough damage. Will only claim Yuji, but Faisal's joined in on the fight now. Triple kill to Masu. Quadra kill to Masu.
He wants it.
He's going for it.
He's got a red.
He wants it. Masu with one more auto. Pentakill. Yeah, On the Range is back, everybody, and also highlight a lot of the plays that were in contention for play of the week as well. I know it's Quacker that won it at the very end, but again, shout out to Arrow for that triple kill. That was just disgusting.
I'm gonna be honest.
Incredible.
I'm gonna be honest. I was the biggest one saying Quacker got robbed last week by Arrow when he won week 1, but I'm gonna be real. This time Quacker robbed him, so it's just kind of like a handshake. Because now they're even.
No,
because that Lefelios
Justice is
play.
served.
I'm part of the Church of the Quack. He deserves play of the week every single week. He's going to keep making plays like that, man. There's no
probably
robbery here. It was
pretty sure he
just
made one
justice.
Destrix, when we say that we shill on the broadcast, it's not the kind of shill that we're talking about. I just got to tell you. It's for the players, not the teams, okay? All right, either way. Also, when Mazel told me that he wanted to do a whole On the Range themed about a cattle drive, poll, does anybody know what a cattle drive is? Twitch chat, say I if you know what a cattle drive is, because I had no clue. Do either of you?
Take a steering wheel and you just like shove it in the back and just vroom vroom. I don't know.
Well,
What
I
is
don't
it?
like that visual.
I don't
and also
either.
not correct.
Yes.
Beatdown, did you have any clue?
Yes, only because when Lennon pitched it during the meeting, he talked about what a cattle drive
Well,
was.
Yes,
Like,
of course.
you know.
Either way, we get the players where they're going. That is, of course, the LCS, but it's up to them and their performance to get themselves there. So let's take a look at who's been performing so far with an update on the standings. We got another team joining the double-digit win record as FlyQuest Challengers has finally picked up that other one. It's been through many split series, not necessarily as fast as we had expected, but TLC, Destrix, they are still the kings at the top.
Yeah, completely unstoppable. They're outpacing some of their former iterations with this win-loss right now at 14-2. I mean, we kind of expected the standings to be at this level of top 3, but the way we got there was incredibly bumpy. FlyQuest took a little bit longer. You know, splitting some games with Supernova will do that with you, and Disguised have been doing way too many ties, Steve.
Yeah, they've split pretty much every single series. 9 and 7, their 2 additional wins were the 2 that they picked up. Everything else been those 1-1s. Pretty crazy stuff there. Beatdown, let's look at the right half of the standings, though. When we look at the teams towards the bottoms, what are the big kind of standout stories that you're seeing here?
So the big thing for me is the fact that we have clumps kind of all across the board where, with the exception of AoE, pour one out, it's interesting because last split we had a couple very just teams that were at the very bottom of the bracket, but everyone is taking games off literally everyone. You see one of those 2 losses that TLC has them. If you haven't been keeping up, first of all, shame on you, but you'd be surprised to know Team Fish Taco is the one who took one of their games from them.
Dude, the Team Fish Taco story has been so fun to follow. 7 and 9. They were counted out before the season even began.
Or were.
And they are heavily making us eat those words and opinions. AoE still struggling. They did play against TLC and also Cincinnati Fear, who've been having a kind of a resurgence here so far on the weekend. So to close out the round robin, they're hoping for some wins against Team Fish Taco later on today. But let's take a look at the schedule so we can know what we're watching on this stream. A reminder, we do have 2 streams going. Make sure to pull up both. You want to support both streams because they both help the viewers. Also, remember to sub to both of them. Directly support the players there. But today here on Challengers League, we have Supernova taking on Disguised, then FlyQuest Challengers up against Maryville. And we end the day with the battle of 2 of the orgs that maintained their Challengers rosters in Team Liquid and Evil Geniuses. Destrix, what you're looking forward to here today? I mean, obviously, all of them.
So,
the number 1.
I got 2 names that are going to stick out to me. One of them is Supernova versus Disguised. I'm hyped about that because Supernova have been this wild card, not referencing the team, of course, of a squad that has split games against, 2 of the top teams right now in both FlyQuest as well as Team Liquid. The other one is going to be Maryville. They're on an upward swing right now after the CLAW season. Now that their focus is fully on LCS Challengers, they're starting to look better and better week to week.
It's great stuff, and their opponents Disguised, of course, coming in. And I did misquote. They do have 1-0-2 from earlier. I forgot about the match against Wildcard. This is what I went into the week kind of talking about being their, air quotes, easy week. They have Supernova to close things off with, and the other 2 teams that they played earlier on in the weekend, Maryville and Fear, were either tied with them or below them in the standings. So when we look at the strength of schedule for a round robin, at the end of this week, we can say every team's played each other once. Teams are starting to slot in where we, where they actually belong based on playing against everybody. We no longer have that whole, they played against the better teams first type of argument. So eyes are going to be on Disguise, but their opposition, Supernova, are up on the Rift first. Let's take a look at them. here as we are still, man, it's so sad whenever I don't see photos.
It's okay. It's only been a couple weeks, but this is definitely a team to be talking about here because you said it. They've had some pretty crazy upsets, some pretty incredible games. Honestly, had a great series yesterday as well against EGC. Unfortunately, weren't able to close out the 2-0, but they kept it close, and they showed us a lot of really good gameplay. Of course, we got to shout out Quacker and Trevor, who both had amazing series.
And you know what? It's a developing team with developing pieces, but they're showing so much promise right now, man. Even that FlyQuest game you were mentioning, it was a 22-minute stomp, and then what happens the very next week? They beat that record with a 21-minute stomp against Evil Geniuses.
Yeah.
I'm liking this look at Supernova.
Supernova's been fun to follow. Also, one of the team's expectations were a little low going into the summer split. They are definitely overperforming. But at this point, I don't even know if we can say it's overperforming. They're just performing. The roster's coming together. They're up against Disguised, the team that had a lot of eyes coming on them into the summer split, and so far have had a pretty good run of things. They are towards the top of the standings. So as we look at Disguised's roster here, I want to highlight a few of the players. Obviously, we talk about the returning members of Fake God, Tomio, and Zazel from the championship roster in spring, but Young and Meech also slotting in with the team, being these newer members, these newer carries for them.
And I feel like the meta right now is starting to benefit Young quite a bit because Silas is coming back at the same time that Alistair is coming back, of course.
That's partially the reason.
Yeah. But because of that, you get situations where Disguise pretty much just outdrafted the living daylights against Fear in the match they had before. Same thing happening in MU where they constantly went for that Silas counter pick after seeing Alistair come in. It's putting a big highlight onto Young, and it's making him a player you got to watch out, not just on the Rift, but in draft as well.
That's a good point. I do love me some Young anytime he can play the Melee champions. That is what we know this player for. We know he pops off on Spring Split. The meta shifted maybe away from that. But now on this roster, it seems like we're going back into that type of play style for him. But let's look at Supernova again. We're ping-ponging around with the points, but Supernova, when we look at their gameplay, I do want to start highlighting some key
I'm so glad you grabbed
this
this clip.
Yeah.
This was really good. I mean, this is just small, good use of the Justice Punch from Robbie Bob, but overall, Supernova, as a roster, we had these questions going into the split. We all asked ourselves at that first meeting, who's going to carry on this team? And we didn't know much about Music coming over after playing in the ERLs for a couple of years, but he's actually been looking really good. Quacker's return to competitive play as well has honestly been a smashing success so far. Didn't expect him to get into the swing of things so quickly, but he has looked very good.
Yeah, Quacker has been an absolute monster. I mean, the guy has 12 solo kills leading the league at the moment. The next closest is Bradley at 10, so really putting on some great performances right there. And Supernova, when they're able to get someone else who can fill that role of being that secondary carry alongside Quacker, that's when you start to see them really bump up, whether it's Music, whether it's Robbie, or whether you get towards the mid to late game where Sketch starts to shine out a little bit more.
Yeah.
As long as they can get that ball rolling and get someone alongside Quacker, that's when you see the best takes out of Supernova.
And I want to highlight the mid laner there in that equation. When you have a carry top laner, a jungler who can play carry champions, Robbie Bob can start slotting back into that role where I often find that he finds the most success, which is on the Gallios, on the Lissandras, on these mid laners that will follow up on another player on the team being that forward charging carry. So let's see if that continues for them into draft. As now let's look at Disguised and how they've been playing as a team and as a roster, because like we've said already, Deserix, they have split a lot of series so far.
Yeah, there's a kind of streak going on where they get 2 ties and then either a 2-0 or an 0-2 to finish out the week. At this point, it's kind of looking like this next game might be a tie. I'm just going to throw it out there. Results-based analysis is the absolute best, of course. But getting a little bit more into Disguise, the problems I've been having with them, at least in the previous weeks, is they get a little bit complacent when it comes to the mid to late game. They don't really actively look for plays as they look for mistakes coming out from their team, from the enemy team. Week 3, that completely swapped on its head. You had Tomio, who was being hyper active on a lot of these engages and invades onto enemy junglers, and it's giving me exactly what I wanted to see from this roster and giving them a late game boost that a late season boost that could be very successful to keep them into the top 3.
I gotta say as well, I think that Ivern coming into the meta is like the perfect Tomio champion. When I think of how Tomio plays the game, it's oftentimes a lot of look at camps and efficient pathing into a gank, but then also he's not playing the things as much like the Graves, the Viegos that are going to carry the game. He's often on the Sejuani duties, on the Maokai duties. So now he gets on the Iron duties, baby. Just shield everybody up, send Daisy in, go have fun, Pokemon. But we want to also go towards the top lane and really focus in on this matchup too, because we talk about Quacker, how important he is as a player for Supernova. Fake God's been having a fantastic split as well. We even got a chance to chat with him with some burgers, me and Joshi, the other day, so we're going to be showing some more of that content. But look at how close their play styles are up until the very end. The goal difference at 10. Quacker has actually been pushing the lane a little bit further than Fake God, which is surprising considering Fake God's penchant for playing things like that Renekton and really trying to push for big lane leads.
Yeah, it's really impressive what Quacker's been able to do in the top side. He gets a little more jungle attention than other top laners in the league because it's such an important part of how Supernova play things out in the early game. Always, they ban for him so that he can play these more aggressive champions like the Renekton, like the Cassante, and things like that. And it's led to, up until yesterday, I didn't check again today, but Supernova had the second highest Rift Herald percentage in the entire league, second only to TLC. And it's just part of what Quacker's able to do for this team, and it's part of how Supernova have been able to snowball to a lot of the wins that they have, because that's usually how their wins go. They win hard in the early game, and they're able to convert. It's when they fall behind that things get tough.
And it's pretty interesting looking at these stats because they come from different places. Fake God is one of the most one of the most high-tier laners that we have in the league right now for top laners. Quacker tends to break even in laning. The reason he has that gold lead, he's violent, man. He's bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
He takes a lot of fights, and that's where he's getting those leads from.
And also the first blood percentage, I think, is crazy to highlight as well. Both these teams will actually play to top lane early on, something that does not happen very often in this league or in the meta. So it means it's going to be a very exciting top lane matchup. We're hoping, please do not give us tank versus tank. We got it, Quack. We would love to see some more explosive picks. But with that said, that's it for our pre-show. We're getting ready for pick and ban. So I'm going to pass it back on over to Deserks and Beatdown to get us ready for game number 1.
Thank you very much, Steve. And please grow the mustache out as well. It's a little too naked up there, man.
All right.
I got to get to the point. You've been flaming us on hair. You can't say anything, Beat.
I made one comment. You're the one who brings up that bald stuff all the time.
That was spring Deserux. It is summer Deserux now.
New
I'm
era?
flaming Steve's beard more than anything else.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll work on that. I'll make sure to be clean shaven so that we can't make comments about my facial hair.
All right, now getting into the matchup. First matchup of the day, Supernova versus Disguised. I'm curious as to how this draft is going to go if Supernova really do want to focus onto that top side a little more to try and get something running. It's going to be a little bit more of a challenge, though, because Fake God can stonewall a lot of attempts to really shut down Disguise's top side plays.
For sure, and that's why I'm most interested in that top lane matchup. Fake God has had a fantastic year so far. Honestly, even though things were slow towards the end of spring and the early bits of playoffs, Fake God really turned it up and was part of why Cloud9 Challengers were able to get that win. I even talked to Tomio actually going into yesterday's match about Disguise and their performance issues overall, and he talks about how it has been a little tough for them. He's saying that with the addition of Young and Meech, mid and AD carry, the two most important roles in the current meta, having new players like that and figuring out how they want to play the game has been the struggle for them. But this weekend, Eric, we were casting that game yesterday against Fear. He mollywopped them. So it's starting to seem like maybe Disguise are figuring it out. Maybe they've got it together.
Yeah, and a lot of that was so much praise over to Tomio because it was strong solo lanes that you had, and Tomio utilized that really so well. Yeah, Zazel in the later half for those team fights around the Dragon Pit is absolutely immaculate. Let's take a look at the bans that are coming in right now. Rel, Ivern, and Jax all taken off the map by Supernova. Disguised, however, going to take away that Kindred. Music has been playing it quite a bit. Nico still a very, very strong pick. Does play towards Robbie Bob style, but Robbie Bob has a pretty big champion pool in that regard. One more ban for Disguised, it's LeBlanc.
Yeah, and a lot of standard stuff on that red side. The Rel ban we don't see very often, but I find it very interesting just because, I mean, one, we highlighted Zazel was playing this champ the entire series yesterday, looked incredible. It is very strong, and you don't want to get into a situation where you put Trevor on the Alistar, especially when you're on blue side. It gives Young that option to pick the Sylas on 3 there to close it out. Otherwise, it just gets banned later. So you get it out of the picture as we see what first pick is going to be for Supernova.
I'm dying to know what this is all about because Supernova have been doing this quite a few times where they just flash the Darius and then pick something else.
He was a one trick.
He was a one-trick Darius?
He started in competitive in 2021. It was him and Dragoon, the two big Darius players. And we talk about Dragoon Smash, but Quacker also plays this champion a lot. And part of the praise we gave him as a player was he really evolved throughout all of 2021. You have coaches, players, casters, just general pundits of the NA Tier 2 scene give him a lot of praise for how much he developed in that year, which is why we were excited about his comeback and why he's already had such a good start here going into the end of week 3.
That's why we have you, Beat. That's exactly why we have you filling in that information right there. Next picks to come out of Disguised. Tomio going to run it with the Sejuani. Once again, Fake God is going to grab the Renekton this time.
Wow, very early, but it's a good read. Understanding that, one, Quacker plays the champ a lot, and the Jax ban means Supernova, we're looking to get that on either 2 or 3 on this rotation. So what is Quacker going to bring for himself going into that top lane is the more interesting thing. As for junglers, looking like the tanks are in that position, Eric, so we aren't going to see any tank top laners, especially with the Jace coming through for probably Quacker.
All right, that's going to be some good poke coming in for Supernova, as well as some good engage now that they have the Maokai. You can also mess around with those saplings a bit and just be a complete nuisance around neutral objectives. We'll see what Disguise want to go for right now. I mean, for Supernova, they can get the counter pick against Fake God. It's something I think they have to value to a certain extent, because, as we said, a lot of this focus is going to be onto that top side. RS locked in for Supernova.
Yeah, another really strong pick now. Also very flexible. Supernova do have the opportunity to kind of move things around a little bit across the map. Jace can technically still go mid. Varus can go mid. And you keep Disguise guessing, because these are two champs that are still strong right now. But wow, so Young, despite no Alistar being shown up, he's just going to go ahead and pick up the Sylas. It's very interesting because you have melee solo laners. It sets up the Sejuani really well because both can start adding stacks towards that E passive, so it's going to be pretty good for gank setup. And of course, late game, you can still steal the Maokai ultimate, which is what I'm sure Young is looking at.
And some of Young's best highlights last spring was on the Sylas. He got to play it 4 times during the regular season, had a 5.2 KDA combined from all those games. Really does like these melee mages, but it gives a very, very strong front line. It gives a strong skirmish and scrap coming out from Disguise this far.
Absolutely. Right. So far, we are seeing some of these last couple of bans come through here. Ezreal taken out of the picture has been a really popular one. You want to remove some of those safer AD carries. I wouldn't be surprised if actually the Xayah gets taken off right away. It's been a big play for Meech, and considering Disguise have this comp where you have a lot of champs who want to move forward, having that Xayah who can follow but also protect herself would be so good for them to start rounding out that composition. So that's kind of the ban I'm looking for Supernova.
Since Supernova haven't gone for the outright counter pick just yet, the Jay's still flexible, so it could be over in the top lane. Disguise are going to focus on taking away some of those top laners that can be a problem. Cassante already taken off, so Fake God's not going to have to deal with that one. Yeah, and then Milio getting bound away. A champion I've been happy to see a little bit more less of.
Yeah, I think Rel is a big reason why that ended up happening there. So instead, you're going to have Zeyzal on the Rakan. This guy is just good on whatever champion you throw him on. Enchanters, Engagers, it's fine. So this really just rounds out the all-in here. And now, surely it's just going to be the R5 Xayah for Disguise, unless Supernova want to do some finagling with their team comp, but I'm doubting it.
This is something we've kind of been seeing as more of a Trevor special. He's been really willing to lean into this Renata. And it was a champion that yesterday actually worked out so well for Supernova.
Oh, wait.
Did deny some engages, and this will do the same exact thing if you want to get that engage in a 9.
He's so much better because not only can you use that whirlwind, the tornado, to be able to deny some of these engages, the monsoon is so perfect for what DSG are going for. Oh my god! It's the Arf! Oh my, it's the Darius! Let's go, it's the Quacker special! He says, alright, you want to play Renekton, buddy? Let's go!
It does leave
Nothing
the
else
lovers
matters. I don't care anymore. I'm looking at top side.
Let's get locked in. But yeah, I'm hyped up on this because this is throwing down the gauntlet. We talked about this head-to-head. Both of these top laners like to scrap. They like to fight. Fake God does better in the laning situation, but Quacker wants blood, this really plays to it when you lock in the Darius.
Oh, that's an exciting one, and it's really nice. He's looking to dominate this top lane matchup, as we've seen so often. Again, it was the 2021 special. He only brought out in some situations. I remember it was famously a GP counter, and he tweeted one saying, "Don't blind GP into me, bro." Don't do it. I think Dragoon also used to do something similar. But overall, looking at the comps and what we have so far, you got a good amount of range and poke for Supernova, and a lot of disengage when you think about it. Maokai, his ultimate's very flexible. It can go both ways. But I'm looking at the Jace poke, the Varus poke, as being a lot of ways to keep DSG at arm's length.
And with everything going down right now, Supernova, very smart to draft that Janna when you have so much engage coming out from Disguised. So they do have these layers of protection. They also have some great poke to utilize alongside this Jason Varus. First game of the day right now, Supernova versus Disguised. Show your fandom, type it in Twitch chat SN if you want Supernova to win DSG. If you want a dub for Disguised. So we hit the rift right now. This day is the final day of the first round robin.
That's right.
Our teams will be facing off in another round following the next 3 weeks. But now after this, we're going to start to see where these teams really do lie, and then the last big race beat.
That's right. And then going into it, we got to talk about some of the expectations we've been having for some of these teams. Going into this weekend, actually, we were kind of worried about Disguised. We expected them to be top 3. They currently are tied with Wildcard for that spot, and have actually managed to really look like they're getting it together, working on that consistency that Tomio was telling me about yesterday. So if their series against Fear was any indication, they are ready to take their place as one of the top teams in this league. And you have Supernova, who we didn't really have much expectations for. We were waiting to see who was going to be that carry. And so far, people like Quacker, people like Music, even at times Robbie Bob, have stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, you saw that Robbie Bob clip, man. That thing was a thing of beauty.
Oh my god,
He uses the Justice Punch to get right out of range of the Tibbers and turn it on Get Back.
Yeah.
You know, hey, he's a CLOL champion. Plays like it.
Very true. Yeah, over at UST, and we didn't really talk about what Disguised comp is looking to do at the moment here. I kind of alluded to it during that first rotation, but we're looking at Tomio to spend some time in these solo lanes. Again, the ability to stack that Sejuani's E passive, because you got 2 melees there, means Tomio's going to have a lot of options in terms of where he can gank, where he can get the ball rolling for DSG, because as time goes on, I do lean Supernova's way just a little bit.
See this lane leaning the way of Supernova as they'll shove it into the Sky's turret. I remember Janna back in summer was actually a surprisingly good pick for the hard engage that was Renata coming back. Not coming back, but debuting, I should say. I believe it was Diamond who really started to pop that off back in summer, but I'm looking at this composition from Disguised, and it does play a lot towards trying to keep all these members safe of Supernova so they can get going. Problem is, if it doesn't succeed, like if you do get a strong engage coming out from Disguise, there's absolute mayhem that can be thrown down. Even with Young being able to take something like the Chain of Corruptions, sure, you're going to blow everyone away with the Monsoon, but that is a lockdown that really displaces a lot of the team.
For sure. So there's going to be a lot of room for outplay, skill expression here on both of these team comps. And it's going to be really exciting to see, especially how Young is going to be able to make use of that hijack, steal away some of these crucial abilities here. As you can see, a good amount of trading pretty much all across the board here. We're seeing Fake God as that wave pushing back towards Quacker on the top side. That matchup is the most exciting to me, and it's interesting because Quacker takes the Ghost, as you do on such aggressive champions. No teleport means a dive on this wave that's stacking would be very damaging to Quacker's lane phase.
Be careful right there. You can see that Disguise in the bottom lane are looking to take a little bit of the small scraps, and it's very deceptive because Xayah, it's not about her auto damage, it's about the back end damage on the blade collar that can absolutely sneak up on you.
That's right, it can. A lot of ways teams want to look and play things out. So far, we're seeing a lot of invested vision towards this top side of the map. Both ways, really. You saw Quacker use that early prio to get the ward onto Tomio's red buff, have an idea of where he is. Now you're seeing Young, Tomio, Fake God using whatever they can to get these wards on the top side as well. Look at it. On top of the Scuttle Crab, that's 4 wards placed up. And now they spotted out Trevor, who's going on a very peculiar roam.
See right there from I Am Yanni, one of our good friends, also a commentator. 9-7, it feels like they've underperformed. They need a 2-0 badly today to feel like a legitimate contender.
I agree.
And for the most part, yeah, I think that's a very agreeable statement. Disguised was expected by a lot to be in the top of the standings as Quacker and Fake God scrap up in this top lane.
And Fake God, he's trading very well into Quacker, going in and out. Just using that rage bar to get the healing from that Call of the Meek and just immediately jumping out. Oh,
A knock up
wow.
on the Trevor. They catch him out in rotation. Over the wall comes Tomio. 100 health left for Trevor, but underneath the tower, he'll find himself safety.
It's a good catch out there. They know Trevor has to walk his way back to lane after that huge roam he just went for. As a result, does have to use his flash and heal. And looking topside, that good trade from Fake God we were talking about paying off. Remember, no teleport on this Darius, and he's already dropped a little more than a wave because of what Fake God had stacked towards that top side. Music, well, we talk about how often he shows up on that top side of the map. I'm hoping it is going to be soon because Supernova, they want a chance. Quacker does need to get the ball rolling on this Darius.
Renekton's going to become more and more of a lane bully as the game does go on. You want Darius to be able to match that and eventually just make some gator boots on top of it, but you need music there to try and make an impact. So far, jungler focus has been a little bit more bot side. Tomio now starting up the Dragon. Has priority coming out from Zazel, thanks to that recall from Trevor. Not too much coming out from Robbie Bob, but Supernova aren't willing to contest this at the given moment. Bot side camp's already cleared for music, so he needs to go in the top end.
It's fine. For Supernova, you don't need really much of anything to start going at the moment here. That's why you can see it. Music, he's just been hovering. Very specific timers to prevent dives, ensure his laners can get waves in and things like that. But beyond that, he's just been farming away. Level 6, when we get to that Rift Herald, is where I have my eyes set on. Supernova do have that opportunity to contest for it, as long as everybody reaches that level 6 mark. And this is what I'm talking about. Music again, hovering, and he has that health over Tomio. He wants this.
Oh, yeah, half health Tomio. Music is just going to take the fight. Robbie Bob's over the wall. Tomio might need to burn his flash. Going to pop it right out. 200 health remains. Out comes Shock Blast. No way.
How much health? 14
Tomio.
health.
I saw 14. Yeah, he's going to survive by the skin of his teeth. So close it was.
That's a great timer, though, for Music. I mean, Robbie Bob has push, has the ability to move first. So it's a good opportunity there to get the flash out of Tomio, force him to the other side of the map, where he's going to very slowly slink his way over to the Scuttle Crab.
Nice move from Tomio to grab it before Music got into that position, but now it's retreat time if you're Tomio. The invade's coming in. Robbie Bob has priority. You got to play it on the safe side, and Tomio will. He takes the recall.
Young has no mana. Even with the Nature's Grasp, you can't be taking any risks here. But as I say it, Zazel's on the move. Young is going to come in.
Okay. Here comes the collapse. Ultimate going to be used onto Music. Music tries to flash over it, but gets caught. Now, Twisted Advance finds Young.
Here.
Robbie Bob's here. He can pick up a Strangler, or can he? Zazel leads the charge to get the knock up on the Music. Here comes Michi. Finds First Blood for Disguised. And what looked like a bad move from Tomio, when you got your friends with you to join the fight, it's going to be First Blood.
It was a nice call, moving the bot lane up to help secure the kill. Young had enough mana to cast the ultimate, and I guess that was all he needed to do. It does give an opportunity for Sketch to get some gold, get some plating on the bottom side of the map, but it's still First Blood gold over to the Xayah on top of the call that Meech has been working on. He's picked up a lot of gold and will continue to do so early on.
I like the initiative out of Music, but now staying too long might cost them. Sketch caught out by the ultimate of Tomio, and Meech is going to grab his second kill.
Oh yeah, Sketch opted for the ghost. Means he has no way of cleansing that ultimate, especially without the flash. And we're starting to see things fall apart just a little bit for the side of Supernova. Disguise making a lot of really good moves. Tomio finding a lot of good angles despite the pressure he was facing in those early minutes.
Quacker pops the ghost. He wants to take it to Fake God. It's going to be a very close battle. There's that Q that comes out. Does give a lot of healing right back over to Fake God, especially when you pop that Dominus. You have all those Fury stacks. I think Quacker was happy enough just winning the small skirmish to set up Herald.
Yeah, we're going to see this again. Props to Music. I respect the attempt, but wasn't able to flash over the Nature's Grasp. That's a very tight window. And everyone else, we saw the bot lane move, and it worked out.
That's a very thick, nasty ultimate. Hard to get through. Flash burnt out of Robbie Bob. Another nice gank coming out of Tomio, who's getting really active on this map. That activity going to continue. Ultimate burnt from Music as he tries to stop Tomio from engaging onto this fight. Tomio doesn't have the ultimate this time, so Supernova get away.
Nice and easy. This is very common for Supernova. A lot of priority on that Rift. Oh, wow. Respect, Meech.
Here we go. Meech looking to hunt down Sketch. Would have found it. It's all right. It's enough. You did take away that ghost. Actually, that was out of burnt flash, so questionable exchange.
Yeah, if he got the root down, solo kill. Easy. He pops the Feather Storm, everything like that. But still, the aggression will force Sketch back under his turret. He can't back yet, but might be in trouble because he stayed.
Oh, here we go. The dive onto Sketch. We've seen this before. Disguise were able to do this to Fear. Now they'll do it again to Supernova on this dive. Falling, it's going to be a third kill for Meech at 10 minutes. This Xayah is heckin' accelerated beat.
And he already came back to lane with that Kraken Slayer. Took advantage of that first item spike to get some health onto Sketch. The flash ends up being worth it.
Oh, Quacker getting locked down. Disguise putting their attention over towards the top side. Permafrost will get the stun onto Quacker. Fight breaking out in the mid lane. Robbie Bob getting the better of it, but Zazel will be the great equalizer to turn it in the favor of Disguised.
Really nice move from Zazel. He's all over the map this game. And
Zazel and Tomio, they don't stop making
Quacker has no
plays,
mana.
and they're looking to find music. 200 health. Won't get the kill. Tomio's a little bit too low, but Disguised. Aggro as all heck.
That's right. We're going to see a replay of the dive. Again, the flash from Meech ends up being worth it. Sketch has less health, so it means, they just kill him that much faster. Meech just has to drop the Feather Storm, and it's all good. And in the mid lane, too, Robbie Bob, he's starting to get up there in terms of items, so he's happy to get aggressive with Young, who still has these long cooldowns on the Sylas. Hasn't really gotten a lot of that ability haste yet, but look at the minimap. You see Zazel already on the move, just keeping an eye out, making sure that he is all over the place when his team need him. And this is what we talk about with Zazel. Best support in Challengers League in spring, bar none, continuing to show those performances. Fake God in yesterday's interview, he said if anyone on his team is ready for LCS immediately, it is Zazel.
And, you know, with the meta changing, it really does benefit players like Zazel who get to step away from the enchanters and go into hard engage. Not to mention Young, we already talked about with the Sylas and his melee mages being so prominent. This meta change really does benefit Disguise quite a bit to allow them to play at their very best. So I do feel like we're seeing a new take of Disguise that can find that consistency we've been long looking for.
Definitely looking good so far. And another dragon is picked up here.
Oh my goodness.
No flash on Fake God.
Oh my goodness.
It's possible.
He does have Dominus. He does have Dominus,
Oh, yeah.
and yep, baits out the Noxine Guillotine. Fake God will survive.
Yeah, barely. Got pretty low, but realistically, you're preventing the snowball, and because of what's been going on, he's been trading effectively, taking advantage of the fact Quacker doesn't have teleport. He's gotten that bit of a CS lead as well that gives him those stats, that ability to survive. So Quacker's really been stalled in this game. But still, that prio, that pressure, got them this Rift Herald. They are going to be able to drop some gold into Sketch's pocket. He definitely needs it, considering what Meech and Zazel have put him through.
He desperately needs it. Not just him, but Robbie Bob. If you're gonna run something that's a little bit more poke oriented, you need early income to be into your favor to really make this composition shine, and to get set behind so early by a lot of these plays made by Meech and Tomio, it does spell disaster coming out for Supernova if they don't get the ball rolling.
And this has been good. Jeez, Disguise. Oh, wow, hold on.
Oh yeah, the lockdown coming in from Tomio. He doesn't even think twice about it, just chucks the ultimate straight into Music's face, gets his flash.
Yeah, really nice cooldown they're able to pull away here. Young has just been, he's been all over the map a lot more than Robbie Bob. He's been able to find these moves. He's been able to both defend invades against Tomio and help Tomio with invades against Music. And we're seeing examples of that all across this game.
I've really been enjoying Tomio's play this week. It's been fantastic thus far. I mean, we talked about it a lot in the Fear game, but even in this matchup, we were curious at the start of the season if Tomio was carried by his lanes back in Cloud9 Challengers, but I very much don't think that's the case. At least not anymore. He's holding his own. He knows where to be on the map. He's a phenomenal jungler.
He's been good. That finals performance, especially in spring when Cloud9 Challengers won it all, was the best game I've ever seen from him. And that's that really increased my hopes for this player, especially because it feels like he kind of stagnated across these last couple of years. And speaking of, he's looking for some plays, but
Oh, Tomio's caught out, but is it him that's caught out, or is it Supernova? Fake God goes forward, gets Music right in the jaws, pulling him in. Quacker, that's not the way you want them to go. Take him away from the tower. Quacker critically low. Robbie Bob has to flash. Low health bar starting to show. Fake God
nice flash!
slices and dices Supernova.
Wow, really nice play for Fake God to secure the double. Trevor, I don't know if you should be here. I'm kind of worried. He is playing Janna, but you know, it's still going to be a turret going down here in the first turret for the solo laners of Disguise. We saw the gold pop up earlier, but after this turret goes down, I want to see it again, just to see where everybody is at right now, because it seems like Disguise are just ahead of the game in every way. You see the replay. Tomio goes for the invade. Music, Quacker, they're like, okay, we got to do something. We're falling so far behind. Even with Robbie Bob showing up, it wasn't enough to get that first kill. And Fake God, he says, oh, it's my time to shine. Low health bars? Give me some of that.
And just cleaning it up, especially with that final slice and dice.
Yeah.
Quacker.
The
This
flash?
was bad.
Oh, no. We're not going to see it. But we come back to the second Rift Herald. The Supernova, this is ambition.
Ooh, Supernova trying to put a stop to Disguise. Oh, there's a teleport coming from the back, and it's Fake God who's arriving to the battle. The Gator says, this is my swamp, get the hell out of it. Will slice and dice over the wall, goes right onto Quacker, flashes away, coming out from Supernova, but the ones who are stuck are dead to rights in the name of Disguise. Quacker gets away from the Featherstorm, but gets caught by Young. Noxian Guillotine takes his head.
Executed by your own ultimate. Disguise are dominating in this game one. And this is what we expected from a team who could be in that top 3 alongside FlyQuest and Team Liquid Challengers. And Disguise, now they're going to go ahead and take their prize. This Rift Herald, as this gold lead goes up to 7,000 and... Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh. That's
a little bit of an
tough.
exponential graph we got there.
A little bit. And we got to give some quick praise over to Meech and Zazel, because that lead, Tomio had very little impact over the bot lane and that matchup. He did gank once, but before that, Meech already had a lead building. Zazel already helping him find these opportunities. And it's just been good stuff from this bot lane, especially for Meech, who's been trying to fit into this new team.
You have to realize our expectations for Disguised was so high because Fake God, Tomio, Zazel, all returning from a championship run in Challengers back in Cloud9. Young, one of the more highly regarded mids when it came to their rookie split back when he was playing on Golden Guardian. Same thing with Meech on Counter Logic Gaming Challengers. They are talented, they have a lot of potential, and a great mix of talent, both young and veteran. We expected this team to be doing fire right out of the gates. It took a little bit of time to find their stride, but now that they're getting it, this is what I want to see. Oh, Hacker almost making that the better for Supernova for a second.
2 levels down, by the way. And only the stride breaker. Young, look, that's his final health right there at 200. But at the end of the day, map moves from Disguise are too good. Means that they continue to hold on to the lead. They continue to win these objectives out. And Young decides, why not?
No.
I deserve it.
The engaged duo of Disguise, Tomio and Zazel.
Wow.
Find another victim. Sketch gets dropped.
And man, Sketch has just been, he's been going through it. As we see, Young got that tier 2 turret. Harold did get that charge. No one will get the local gold for the last turret, but bottom inhibitor exposed at 18 minutes in the game. Deserex. This is brutal.
Yeah, 18 minutes, you said it. This is almost 10K at 18 minutes. It's 10K
It's
now.
10K, it's literally
there
10K.
It is. There it is. That is a fast lead. Accelerates to holy high hell coming out from Disguised. We'll grab the Dragon. He'll get him at Dragon Soul point, but I hinge my bets that we're not seeing a Dragon Soul with how fast Disguised are going.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. It's tough. It's not over till the fat lady sings, but I'll tell you what. She's doing her warm-ups right now.
All this vision set up by Disguised, a dominating game number 1 thus far. Another setup coming out from Tomio, sees that it's Quacker. Will give his respects over there. And Fake God, there's barely any damage on this man's turret.
Right, I mean, Fake God laned really well into the Darius. Had that help from Tomio from time to time. And it's just been DSG winning at all moments of the game, all sides of the map. And it's just been pure domination ever since. Eric, I'm gonna ask you a question.
What's up?
Have you seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
Haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. Beat. I know.
When are you gonna get to it?
You know what? I'll do it this week just for you.
You better. I'm gonna hold you to that. Somebody clip it and then ping him later. I will also ping him.
Was there a point we're getting to with this, though, Beat?
No, I just wanted to talk about...
Just wanted to flame me on the broadcast because this guy's stomping that hard. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, yeah. I'm kind of feeling like Sketch right now. Beat down your Tomio in this one. The Sketch runs right over to his base. Quacker, the bodyguard, he holds his line.
Unfortunately, Steve's not here to be Quacker for you when we're just casting, so you don't get out of that one. Another turret. And don't worry, you guys are thinking, wow, Disguise, the gold lead went below 10K. It was back ahead of it. But actually, Robbie Bob wants to make us look like fools as he drops it immediately back below 10K.
Curious, was that... Yeah, that stopped a perfect game from happening. So Robbie Bob, you'll play spoiler to that.
I didn't even realize. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's just a testament. Oh, no.
Easy engage. It's a paper tank right now, Music. I'm sorry, man, but 4 deaths, you're that far behind.
Yeah,
That's the way it's going to be.
Yep, you don't get to be on the map anymore, unfortunately. Your jungle is not actually yours. Desperation play like this is all Supernova have left.
All right, Quacker, it's all on you, Quacker. Let's see you take it. Get a pentakill. Give me the 5 Noxie and guillotines if Supernova are going to come back. Fake God jumps forward. He takes a lot of damage in the process. Quacker's holding his own. Oh, it's a kill coming out for Quacker. Quacker goes in. He's looking for the fight, but gets dismantled because Meech flashes back and brings the feathers across the face. Now Young onto Robbie Bob. Robbie Bob gets damage in, but Young stands strong. Young stands firm, and so do the rest of Disguise. It's not enough for a Baron. It's a team fight win, but can Young escape? Oh, the ultimate times out, and Supernova can't even get a straggler kill.
Oh, that is brutal. Tomio has his back delayed ever so slightly. That was almost something, but DSG will walk away with the Turo Baron buff.
Nice pickup for Disguise. A nice attempt coming out for Quacker.
Dude, that was almost something, man.
Yeah, you know what? You go for that. You go for that.
You do go for that every
you're
time.
10K behind. You got to make the risky plays. You go for that. Respect to Quacker for attempting it. It's just at this point, Disguised, 10K is so significant at 20 minutes. That's a hard lead to overcome by just pressing Q and healing it all up. Meech brings the damage. He's got 3 items, man.
Sure does.
Oh, I've seen this before. Yeah, deforestation going on in the jungle of Supernova.
That's right, DSG not big fans of nature, clearly, as they cut down this tree each and every time, but not before making full use of it, of course, that being Young, hijacking the nature's grasp for like the 5th time, and it's a good ult, so I can't blame him.
Now minions being led in every single lane by Disguised. Fake God leading the top, bot lane leading in the mid, everyone else in the bot. A minute before the dragon spawns. You know, I hinged my bets. I shouldn't be a betting man anymore, or is this going to be the case?
Oh, you're right.
Oh, Disguise goes straight up for the engage! And just like that, 2 members of Supernova, 3 members are gone.
And there it is, Desrex. We might not see the Dragon Soul Baron in tow, 14K ahead. Almost a perfect game.
Go.
And DSG, they want to close.
End this, end this. I got bets coming in, man. Come on, Disguise. Let's go. It's supposed to be before the dragon. Nexus Tower number 1 gonna go down. There's no one left to defend. It's only a tank. It's only a support. They can't do jack. Nexus Tower number 2 gonna fall. It is a dominating performance. 1 kill, 1 turret shy from a perfect game. It shows you the caliber that DSG can bring.
3 spring champions and 2 promising additions. Disguised are here to play, and they're finally solidifying their spot in that top 3 conversation. Eric, god damn, what was that?
God damn, that was a performance.
I know you're supposed to ask me, but what was that?
Yeah. That was every lane doing its job. I mean, Tomio activated some of the lanes, but there was a case in where you have like the bottom lane with Meech and Zazel who just did it all by themselves.
For sure.
Everyone on Disguise looked good, B.
They did, and I mean, you got to give special props to Fake God. Played that top matchup as the Renekton very well. Gave Quacker 0 chances to ever get ahead of the game, and he was playing from behind the entire time.
I mean, that's why Fake God is seen as arguably the best top laner. For some people, they say inarguably the best top laner in the league right now.
In the league, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's that fire. We're going to throw it over to a short break because we got a game number 2. We also have a Rally Cry halftime show on the other side with Kangas, so be sure to stay tuned. The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo.
the world's largest car sharing marketplace. Find your drive.